What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of the Clamcast. My name is Nick.
I'm Hunter.
Matt.
Chandler.
And today we're going to be talking about whether or not sequels can save a game. So most likely we're going to be focusing on both Overwatch 2 and Halo Infinite. Let's get into it. We can start talking about Halo first if you guys would like to do that.
So the first question I have for Halo, after watching the trailers for it, was they're using the new Slipstream engine that they created, that they took years to create, which looked absolutely beautiful, first off. But I'm wondering if, they have this new creative director, Tim Longo, not new, but he's been with the company for it was almost 7 years now.
I think so. He's been with them for a long time.
And in the middle of development, he's now left the company. Yeah. And they're planning to release. They're planning to release this game in the winter seasons of this year.
Holiday 2020. So, and it's interesting too because that's not the first. Personally, was he the first or second? Because there were two people.
I believe he was the first one.
So there were two people in the same type of position that left, which were both story developers. So they were both focused on the story of the game, which is kind of concerning for the story side of things. Have you seen the trailers yet, Maddie?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so they haven't released anything on multiplayer, which is unfortunate, but what can you do? So they released a story trailer and then the engine trailer in 2018. But I don't know. Are you excited for Halo?
Fuck yeah, hell yeah. I can't wait to see what it's gonna be like.
Yeah.
Campaign, they kind of fucked up with Halo 5, hardcore.
Did you play it through?
Nah, but I've heard really shitty. I played Halo 5 campaign once, but it was alright. I don't know the story at all.
I never
fucked it up.
I never played the Halo 5 campaign, so I have no idea where the Halo.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't think I've played a Halo campaign since Reach.
I didn't even finish 4. I didn't even enjoy 4.
We don't talk about 4.
Let's leave that away.
I'm way more excited about the multiplayer, man.
Yeah, Halo 5 multiplayer is pretty good. It's sad to see it happen because Halo 5 is pretty good. I've enjoyed doing that. It's different for sure than a lot of the previous stuff, but I still think overall it's a fun multiplayer experience, competitive as hell too. Sure. But with the campaigns, I played both Halo 4 and Halo 5's campaign. Ask me one detail, I guarantee you I can't tell you what happened in both those campaigns.
Yeah,
that shows you how
Halo 3, Halo 2, fucking everything, right?
Yeah. I can remember every single dude. I can hear the music from Halo 3, Noah Park.
Classics.
You're at Noah Park. You're at the campaign.
Yep. Are you guys worried about what might come out with the campaign for Halo Infinite?
Campaign, yeah.
The trailer. I didn't know that they had a couple people leave from the story design.
They got a lot of work to do, for sure.
But that makes me think of Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Back when news of them having a new game come out, before it was Modern Warfare, they had taken a bunch of people out and added another development team, and they overrided everything.
And is this with the new Modern Warfare?
Yeah, this is the new Modern Warfare.
Okay.
And I think it's one of their best campaigns that they've ever done.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And when I had heard about that, I was really worried. But I was surprised.
As you would be.
Right, but I was super surprised with what they came out with.
This is especially concerning for Halo though, because this isn't actually the first time this has happened to Halo. Halo has actually lost a director in the past before release of the game, and that was actually Halo 4. And we know how Halo 4 turned out.
Yeah.
I believe it was Ryan Payton was the name of the director that left Halo 4 before it had released. And
Halo 4 is the most forgettable.
It was a disaster.
Another thing we need to talk about is the guy who produced the music in the original Halos, Halo 3, Halo 2, Marty O'Donnell. He was cut, or for Halo 4, Halo 5, one of those, they just fucking flat out cut him, they did him dirty.
Yeah.
But they're bringing him back for this new
Halo.
Halo.
I see. That's something I didn't know.
Back, baby. There's a lot of good news on this upcoming Halo, man.
It's a big thing for a game like
that.
Yeah, because that music is iconic.
Right?
Yeah, I would say it's my favorite game soundtrack out of any
100%.
game I've ever played before. So I didn't even know that was something that was I didn't know they
I
were
researched that. Everyone
That's
researched
pretty
that shit.
fucking cool.
Hell yeah, dude. That's fucking awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, at least there's some good news coming
Yeah,
Because that's, I don't know, dude. It's a lot of mixed feelings. Because what I think is interesting about what's happening with Halo, especially in comparison to Overwatch right now, is the fact that, well, so Overwatch is on a significant decline lately. Like, pros are leaving the scene. Like, the community's super upset with the game. It seems like all the time nothing's changing. Like, it's just like a downward spiral. While Halo, I feel like, is on the opposite trajectory because, like,
They've already been through their shit.
yeah, like the Master Chief Collection, Maddie knows. We went to the midnight release of that thing.
Bro.
Dude, the game was unplayable.
I'm still hurt by that shit.
It almost feels
For
like
years.
Halo's in a
For
position
years.
where
For years it was unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
Halo feels like they're in a position where they almost have nothing to lose because they've already gotten their shit through. But at the same time, like this is still a big release. People are still reacting.
Nah, look at it now
to
though.
this game.
MCC is popping
Yeah.
off. Bro.
Yeah.
You find games, social games, so fucking.
Dude, it's coming to
big
PC
now,
too.
dude.
Like, it's been slowly released
Yeah.
on PC. So, like,
It's hype right now.
dude, everything about Halo right now
this
is
is the
going
year for
up.
Halo.
Maybe
man.
it's
Year for Halo.
the studios. Maybe they actually finally are getting their shit together and realizing because they even admitted we're not even Halo fans.
That's true.
So, like, maybe they're finally understanding
Mhm.
like what it means to the community and shit like that.
Well, because, I mean, 343 is an interesting developer in the first place because, actually, I would recommend anyone watching this to go and watch Crowcat's video on 343. So, it's funny because they took a bunch of random people and, like, melded them together. None of the people had ever worked together before.
Yeah.
A lot of the people weren't fans of Halo because they wanted to bring it to a wider audience. So, like, 343 is a weird developer in the first place. And they definitely fumbled a couple times because, like, Halo 4 felt like COD, dude. Like, it was
It
straight
was
up.
worse than COD. Let's be real.
Yeah, it was like a bad COD copy. And then, I mean, Halo 5's multiplayer is good, but the campaign's garbage. So, like, I don't know, dude. Can you bring back the full Halo experience in Halo 6? Like, is the question I think.
See,
Like,
the thing I'm questioning is like, there's really three ways you can go about this. They can make a game that's totally, it's not like Halo 5, it's not like Halo 3, just out of the blue, or they could go back to Halo 3 roots, you know, that shit, or they could build upon Halo 5. you
Yeah.
know? But I think I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna build upon like Halo 3 type game. They're gonna do that, but they're not fucking Bungie. Like, how are they gonna get that perfectly the first time, you know?
yeah.
I think that's what they're gonna do, but it's not gonna be Halo 3. It's gonna be a little
Yeah.
shittier. They gotta work on their shit first.
Do you
know?
do you think that they're gonna bring back, like, so, because I know, like, a lot of the most controversial parts of Halo 5 in general, like, the multiplayer is good, dude. Like, I enjoy it a lot. But the abilities, man, like, which were even taken out in some of the modes that you can play right now. Like, I know in the pro scene they don't use a lot of the abilities. Do you think they're gonna bring back, like, abilities? Do you think sprint will still be a thing, or?
No, so I don't think they will. I think it's gonna be like Halo 3 mechanics. They're not gonna have those crazy mechanics like the boost, the thrust, the sprint, and shit, you know, which is a good thing. I think that's the way they should be going with it.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Actually, I think Chad would probably agree with me on
I think
this.
most people agree with
I
that.
lost interest in Halo multiplayer, I think, when they started adding those abilities. Like, the last time I actually enjoyed Halo multiplayer was probably Halo 3 or Halo Reach or something like that.
And
Like,
Halo Reach kind of added them.
Yeah, Reach sort of like subtly added.
I didn't
them,
know what
but,
they
like,
did with Reach.
I think like my main thing with Reach was just like how crazy the Forge was.
The
Yeah,
custom
that's okay.
games.
And the custom.
Yeah.
They're adding Forge
Yeah.
back. They're adding Forge back, I heard, too. So
So they didn't have Forge in 5?
No, so
Because I haven't played 5.
So they added Forge later in 5, so it didn't come out with the original release. Now they have it. But it doesn't seem like it's super popular anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure, to be honest, like, some of the maps in Halo 5 right now that
It's
are playing.
crazy. You can do some crazy shit with
Yeah.
it, but it's not as easy as Halo Reach is.
Yeah, Halo Reach is
Really
the best
gotta learn.
Forge.
Right, that's
Yeah.
why
My-
Reach is so fun.
my highlight of Halo overall was the custom games. Like, the custom
Yeah.
games, the story were like the main thing.
Custom, dude, because I mean, with Reach, they had all those huge maps too. They could go into.
Like, they had like game modes, like
Yeah, you
Avalanche,
just get
you
all your
have like
friends at a
fucking
party.
crazy shit.
Yeah, Avalanche was classic.
insane.
You know,
Griff ball, like the
Griff ball. I think it was like Mouse Hunt or something like
Yeah,
Cat and Mouse.
yeah.
Somebody's in a
You
sniper
could do,
tower,
like,
people
Duck
Death
Hunt.
Race.
Duck Hunt. That's what it was called. Duck Hunt.
Or
And
the,
jump rope.
jump rope,
Jump
yeah,
rope was
yeah.
one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Jump rope was amazing.
So sick.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see something like that come back in Halo.
Nah, for real, they need to have that shit.
That
That's
the
why I asked
yeah,
about
exactly.
that.
I was gonna say the
Yeah,
best thing about
yeah.
that was like the community like came together. You met so many people on Halo through that. So
I
many
still
people.
have, it's so funny because I still have friends that on my friends list that I don't talk to, but I know who they are just because I used to play Halo custom games all the time.
Yeah.
Dude, and you make people. That's what made Halo great is the community, dude, around it. Like, in custom, I mean, it's all a circle, dude. Like, you need a good campaign, you need good custom games, and you need good multiplayer for all of that to happen. And it's a lot of strides to hit, dude.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if 343 is up to the task. They've been doing well, though. So, I mean, we can only hope for the best, really, at this point. Like, it's definitely kind of nerve-wracking. Like, I was super pumped when I saw the trailers. I mean, the trailers look exciting. Like, I think they're bringing, like, Marines back into the story, which is cool, because, like, in the last game, there wasn't really Marines to, like, I think there might have been some, but, like, they weren't, like, a prominent. Because, like, you always felt like a super soldier compared to Marines, right?
Yeah.
In the last game, you're surrounded by a bunch of other Spartans, dude. You, like, it felt like you were Power Rangers, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like you're super overpowered. Dude, it's ridiculous. Like, and so I think they're kind of bringing it back down to the roots a little bit. Guys.
We lost battery. That's what happened. Nobody wants to cough it up, but we lost battery, so we had to switch battery halfway through. So now we have to re-dig up the train of thought.
Yeah.
We'll just point something at us.
Osama was behind it, dude.
We're not done talking about Osama, and we're not done talking about Halo, because
They're
That's
connected.
a good transition.
They're connected.
So we know Tim Longo has left. We've addressed that the creative director left before release. And something I want to bring up is they have not only lost one, but they lost two directors, and they've lost a veteran director in Mary Olsen, who left for another gaming industry. I don't remember the name of them, but she's going to be leader of that gaming industry now.
I want to see who did
It was like Winter Studios or something like that. But my big concern about this is another game that has been impacted that is still awaiting release through directors leaving is CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077, who has it's been pushed back a ton, and they've had directors leaving. Do you think Halo is actually going to release in the winter with two directors leaving in such close proximity of each other?
Yeah.
So, I still think they're going to release. So, here's something that could be happening. This is like pure speculation, by the way. So, like, I don't have any inside sources or anything besides, Maddie, who's got all the info. But no. But so basically, sometimes you do see this happen at the end of a game's production cycle, right? Like, on the bright side, they could have been done with the story and done all the work that they kind of needed to do there, and then found that this is the time that they want to pursue another route, or like start a new chapter in their life. Like, people change jobs all the time. That's a normal thing. With high profile jobs in games, like, it definitely is a red flag. It could not be though, but I don't know. It's interesting to see, because like CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk, like, that's a highly anticipated game, man.
Very highly anticipated. They've released.
How long has it been in production for?
That's been in production, dude, since I don't know this
It
for sure.
felt like forever. I feel like I've heard about
Dude, I
it.
swear it's been since like
I don't know what the
2013.
fuck
I think it was like
You
2013.
don't know what Cyberpunk is?
That's the thing. Like, at first, for the first like year or two, I felt like it was in development. I had no idea what the game was even supposed to be about. And like, they've released trailers, they've released gameplay trailers, they've released like tons of things about this game and what it's supposed to be.
Part.
And still, like, we have nothing on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
We know there's so much hype behind the game, but like,
where is it?
who actually knows what it is?
It's like the Ghost game. It's like some phantom
Is it a
reaping
shooter?
gamers all around.
So-
like,
so
nobody's-
it's- So have you heard of The Witcher?
Yeah.
So it's made by the same studio as The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
I've watched all the gameplay things. So like, basically it's an RPG in. It's hard to explain, but it's an RPG in like this like super massive world, basically, where it's like a FPS as well. So I don't know exactly what the story's about. I know that there's different crime factions and different types of factions that you work for and do quests for. I know that you can get cybernetic enhancements with that. It looks cool. Like I would definitely recommend if you haven't seen gameplay of it, like checking out the gameplay, because there is like a long gameplay that exists of it, and it looks cool, but it seems so massive that it's hard to even put it into context, which is where, and it's been in production since like 2013. They released the first trailer in like 2013.
No way.
I'm not sure if that's the exact year, but like, dude, they released that so long ago, and like, it's crazy that it hasn't come out. And I mean, there's a ton of hype. What's his name's in it?
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. Yeah.
I always remember friend Pat always says like he's always so like heated about this game, and I don't know why, because he doesn't even know what the game is supposed to be about. But he's heated because they pushed it back, and he thinks the sole reason they're pushing it back is to add Keanu Reeves into the game. Like it's getting to the point where people are grasping at
That's
straws.
a valid fucking reason.
Yeah, I mean,
What you mean?
I pushed my game back for you.
But like, I know that's really off topic, but like, do you think there's some sort of toxicity within the company itself that's causing this game to like?
It could be, dude. Game companies have long histories of being super toxic. I think it was, I'm not sure what year this was, but Kotaku released a huge story about toxicity within Riot, the company that makes League of Legends. So there was this huge thing, a bunch of change apparently happened in Riot after that, but like it was in their treatment towards women or something, like there was a bunch of issues with that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was bad. And then also there's been like stories about crunch with Rockstar Games when they were making Red Dead Redemption 2, which turned out to be a great game, but there was a lot of issues within the development of that. So I mean,
delayed.
Yeah, do you think that this could be a like signal of toxicity within 343? Like, do you think that that's something that could?
What does it say about them leaving? Is there articles about it?
They not much is said
after they fired.
Yeah, no, they actually they've released no information about the reason behind why any director has left, and actually. The only reason that would make sense for Olsen leaving is her getting a lead role in another studio. But she hasn't directly said why she's left, and there hasn't been a statement by the studio itself.
I doubt it's toxicity.
You don't think
I
so?
don't think it is. I don't think it's going to be delayed either because they're doing a huge reveal in July. I don't know if it's E3 or whatever the hell it is. But
Around the same time as E3, I think they're.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
They have assured that there are no worries within the studio itself. And I mean, obviously that's something the studio is going to say when stuff like this happens, but they're assuring that there's no worries within the company. Everyone is still as passionate as they were before on the project. So
I think it was like Aaron Greenberg or something like that. That could be his name. That could not be his name. I have no clue. Something like that. Aaron something. He is one of the head execs at Xbox, and he came out and said something about how he has full like confidence in the studio, like he knows, like he's like what they're cooking up is like straight fire right now. Like that's exactly what he actually used, the fire emoji. Yeah. Oh god. So I mean, I don't know. I guess that's kind of reassuring, but once again, it's kind of something that you expect to see out of a big executive for the company. Like you wouldn't. It's nothing out of the normal. Like. Then again, when Crackdown 3 came out, I didn't see a lot of people backing that from Xbox because that game was a shit show.
Absolutely. I didn't even play Crackdown, but I remember watching the Crow Gap video on it.
Dude, that was the most upsetting release.
That was unbelievable.
Recently to me. I didn't play it, but I heard horrible things about it because I was a huge fan of the first two Crackdowns, which is like it's not a huge game.
Those were the ones that I had played.
They were old games.
Not like
old, like what they were on.
They were 360 games.
360 games. Old, like early 360
Yeah,
games.
they were. And Crackdown 1 was pretty good. Crackdown 2 was okay. And 3 was in production for a long time, and they touted all these like big, huge additions to it. And then the game, when it released, like I watched like what it turned into, and it like was nothing like what they originally showed. Like the game just completely shit the bed, which is like. I mean, it's unfortunate. That's something I was upset about. But,
No.
I don't think a lot of people really cared that much.
I haven't really heard much about that.
Yeah. I mean, then again, yeah, but if you fuck up Halo, dude, like, you know, like, which they've already done it, dude. It's, you know what I mean? Like, that's, 343's messed up Halo a couple of times now, so they could do it again. Like,
It's just
That's to bring it back to COD though. It's like their fan bases are so loyal though.
yeah.
No matter what.
It's true.
Not Halo. There's no
Halo?
fan bases. No, everyone's.
Well, yeah,
skeptical
you know
of
what?
it.
That's
Everyone's
true. At this
skeptical of
point,
it.
yeah,
Well,
I do
dude,
read
it's
up on
because
complaints.
Halo has, dude. Here's the thing with COD, bro. They bring it back every couple of years, right? Like, there's something new and big every couple of years. And COD's has a relatively large, like, and this isn't saying that they don't have a hardcore audience as well, but they have a casual audience that will always play COD no matter what as well. Halo used to have that with Halo 3. Halo doesn't have a casual audience anymore. Everyone that plays Halo is hardcore Halo. Like, that's, I mean, I'm sure Maddie can attest to that. Like, dude, like, Halo's pretty tough. Like, it's a hard game now because, like, everyone plays a lot of Halo that plays Halo. So it's like, they've lost the casual audience. They don't have the people that are just returning. Like, honestly, dude, casual gamers aren't playing Halo. Like,
To be fair, you can refer to COD's worst games like Infinite Warfare, World War II, like games that completely shit the bed on Advanced Warfare. And you can still find people that were diehard fans of those games for some reason. So like COD does have like that cult audience that just like always follows.
Yeah, the casuals.
yeah, casuals.
Halo doesn't. Yeah.
Halo doesn't. It did way back in the day, but nowadays, like, it's just because it's honestly, as a casual gamer, it's easier to jump into COD and understand how to play. Like, you might not be the best in the world, but like, dude, I don't play COD and I can jump in and just do fine. You know what I mean? And just like run quick games. The games are like super quick, dude. Like, there's not much strategy. It's like basically like, if you get into a more hardcore, of course that evolves, dude. Like, you end up getting strategies and stuff, but it's possible to play it as someone who's not super even into video games in general. Dude, my dad plays COD. Like, my dad would never play Halo. Like,
Mad girls play COD.
yeah.
I remember actually,
true.
I was hanging out with Ped, I think it was a couple weeks ago, and he was saying he heard this from, I think it was like a streamer, either Choco Taco or Shroud, and they were saying Call of Duty. Yeah, Ped loves Choco Taco.
Probably Choco Taco. That's all.
That's all he watches. But he was saying Call of Duty could never get to the level of competitiveness or strategic competitiveness that Halo or Overwatch can hold. And to some extent I could understand that because there are different sort of like comps in Overwatch. You can have just different characters to run in Overwatch. Halo Online I can't attest to. I'm sure you guys could probably
It was tough, dude. It's a tough game to learn. It's not something you can jump into. Like, I mean,
You know,
we have a buddy that struggled a little bit jumping into Halo. Maddie.
What?
No, not you. I think you know who I'm talking about, though.
Oh yeah, Justice Turk.
I was thinking in my
No,
head.
he's just starting. No hate. No.
I'm not hating, no, but I'm saying for him, dude, like jumping
No,
into that.
he can't play it a lot because he just gets pooped on.
Yeah,
it's
because-
no fun for him. But
Exactly.
he's a god at COD though.
I'm not gonna say
Why?
Call of Duty doesn't have a strategic level. There's a level of strategy there.
Yeah.
To COD.
Of course, the highest.
It's just like a different version. Like
Well,
Overwatch and Halo hold
Now
different.
that I think about it, a lot of COD's meta is
It revolves around the gun.
it revolves around the stuff that breaks the game, that makes it hard for us. It's like the toxic stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what do we
Like
think
the
about?
725.
Let's
or
think of
revolving
Dragon's
snake
Breath,
shot.
Right,
No,
shield,
they
snake shot.
implement guns and mechanics that make it easier for newbies and casual players to like do well.
And
So,
I guess that's
dude,
what attracts casuals because they like an arcadey style. They don't like something.
And
like
it
this.
insinuates the.
I don't know if I would you want that for Halo though, dude.
Fuck
No, see, that's
what nobody.
That's what makes it hard
But
because, like, dude,
that's what it kind of needs for it to be too successful.
because so I've seen this happen throughout Overwatch's life cycle. Like with Overwatch started super competitive hardcore, but it also had like a decent casual audience to it. But the game at its heart is a hardcore esport, like competitive game. But with some of their character releases, they've tried to make the game more appealing and like make the easier characters to play better, and it completely broke the competitive scene, dude. Like, if you were to look at the comps running in competitive, like, oh my god, don't even get me started, dude. Like, the fact that Mei and Reaper were the top played like DPS for competitive or in the pro scene for a long time is insane, bro. Those are like the least skilled characters in the game. Like, you don't have to have a lot of skill to play either of those because they just broke the game, dude.
So funny. I never liked playing either of those people.
Yeah,
never.
Me neither.
I have never had a good game with Reaper, and I've never had a good game.
I wouldn't say I dislike playing with Mei, but I never enjoyed playing with Mei.
But it was hot.
Reaper, I have a pure hatred with playing Reaper. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the fact that I have to get close to my opponents or whatever, but like it's just.
I mean, dude, look at his ultimate though. It's just pressing a button.
Yeah.
It's like you just have to be in a good position to press a button, dude. Like
you just drop from
there's such
high
a power
ground.
gap. I mean, honestly, that whole topic brings me on to talking about Overwatch in general. Like, Overwatch is in a really bad state right now. So like, I almost find this as like a complete opposite to like where Halo's going. But I think they're both kind of riding on these next games to like see like where their franchises are going to go. So like, Halo's in a good position, I would say, right now. Like going into Halo 6. Overwatch is in the worst position the game has been since release, going into...
Yeah, who plays that anymore?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So going into Overwatch 2. And so, like, I mean, for example, within the past week, dude, within a week or two, there has been 2 of the top NA Overwatch League players left the scene. Corey just announced he was leaving, and Sinatra's leaving. Sinatra was the MVP last year.
He's going for Valorant.
Dude,
Valorant's the game.
I could literally bring up a spreadsheet of all the players that have left Overwatch in the past month for Valorant. Dude, it's bad.
Has literally lost their entire team.
What?
Have you been playing Valorant?
Yeah, I've been playing it.
Recently? Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know if you were still playing it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Vancouver Titans literally lost their whole
The
team.
entire team.
Like, it's just gone. They have nothing now.
Yeah.
Like, a team that was literally one of the best teams last season.
Have you seen the viewership numbers?
It's like plummeted.
On Overwatch? Dude, the viewership went from being like, so first season, hundreds of thousands nearly every time. Second season, a little bit under that, but still riding pretty good. Third season, dude, I mean, this could be a symptom a little bit of switching over to YouTube for streaming instead of Twitch, but they have plummeted, dude. Like, they're riding around like somewhere between 20 and 40,000 viewers. And this is for the Overwatch League, which is one of the most, you have to pay like a shit ton of money to get into this league, dude. Like, so much money has been pumped in.
It was massive. The first season was like literally one of the biggest esports coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Its first, like the inaugural season of Overwatch.
Way bigger than Rocket League was.
Yeah.
And I was jealous.
Like, it was getting
Rocket League
like millions of views. Like, it was insane.
Dude, Overwatch
people loved it.
And it's sad for me because like this is a franchise I've really enjoyed playing. But like even when I play, dude, like I can't say that there's not serious issues with like the game itself, and like it seems like they're making a bunch of little fixes that are just further and further like band-aids on like, dude, imagine like my neck got slit, right? Okay. Alright, here we go. Okay, so imagine my neck got slit, dude, and like you just kept like patching it real quick with like a bunch of band-aids to hold it in.
Like you're in Resident Evil 7 just pouring the juice on your arm.
Yeah,
you got your fucking arm chopped off or your leg fucked.
Yeah, dude, it's like that, and they just keep, but like the blood keeps coming, bro, and like it's about to just freaking burst, and like that's the player base, bro. They're about to
That's the player.
go down the drain, bro, of a bathtub or something into another game, dude. Like it's happening, dude. People are leaving, and like it happened a little bit with Apex too. Like some Overwatch pros started leaving to Apex, not a ton, but like Valorant, dude, is stealing the entire community, and it's because the game has way much more competitive intensity.
That's crazy.
What I think.
Okay, hold on. Because I don't even think we were planning on talking about Valorant at all tonight. But how do you think that will stand in longevity? Honestly, because let's be honest, It's a CS:GO copy.
It is literally when you watch
It's a CS:GO
gameplay
copy with
of Valorant, it literally looks
Yeah,
just
but
like.
I'm not hating on it.
Yeah.
I'm not hating.
We were doing research. Who makes Valorant?
Oh, here we go.
Riot
Games,
It was
bro.
Riot.
Yeah.
You want to know who made Paladins?
Who?
Riot
Are
Games.
you serious?
No, Riot,
Yeah.
Riot did not make Paladins, dude. No way. I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so. I think because Riot does not make Paladins. I swear to God.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I was doing research at PEDS. We were looking into this because Riot makes another game that's a remake. Not Paladins. It was Smite, the remake of
No,
Legends.
League of Legends. No, Riot makes League of Legends. So Riot has League of Legends and now they just released a bunch of new games. They had a card game as well, but now they just released a bunch of new games. So they also have like a game Teamfight Tactics, which is like a mobile League of Legends type thing. But Smite is owned by like another developer.
It's probably the creator of Smite that made Paladins too.
Yeah, I think it is.
That's
I know. I
That's
think it
probably
is.
what it
That's where the connection.
I remember me and Pet doing like in-depth research of like creators of like games, and like we were like looking into remakes of games that are literally carbon copy. What's that?
You looked up Hanukkah on there.
No, but that's so. With Riot, dude, it's interesting because like Riot, I would say Riot's a very similar company to Blizzard in general. Like both of the developers are super focused on like kind of making esports a little bit. Like Blizzard was the pioneer in esports with StarCraft 2 and the original StarCraft. Like that game was literally like the biggest esport at the time it came out. Like that was huge.
Yeah.
And then Riot comes out with League of Legends, which is currently like I don't watch it, but I know that League of Legends is the biggest esport besides CS:GO. CS:GO is the other one that is like at the top of the totem pole. I think they're both.
Those are like the two giants.
Yeah, like the two giants in esports. So like Valorant, I think has a lot of potential, but dude, can two games exist in that?
I don't think Valorant can outclass CS:GO.
I don't think Valorant's gonna beat CS:GO.
I don't think Valorant will beat CS:GO in that battle.
But I can see Maddie disagrees. But I also don't think that Valorant is going to dwindle away into nothing.
No.
I think that both of them are going to exist together because just like Dota and League of Legends exist together, I think that Valorant and CS:GO are going to exist together because they're both a little bit different. Like I love CS:GO. I like watching CS:GO a lot. Dude, you'll never find me playing it really because it's fucking hard as hell. And Valorant is a little bit more of like, I understand the abilities a little bit better because I played Overwatch, so I feel a little bit more comfortable getting into Valorant. Yeah. Whereas in CS:GO, like I just don't feel super comfortable playing it. So I think Valorant has an audience, dude. I do, but I don't think they're gonna steal their audience from CS:GO necessarily. I think they're gonna steal a lot of people from Overwatch because
It's funny.
a lot of Overwatch people want to see more FPS, dude, and like Valorant's a straight up FPS.
When you look at
like
Valorant, it's literally CS:GO and Overwatch combined, and like
Yeah.
I think less people from CS:GO are gonna be intrigued.
Well, dude, CS:GO is so hardcore. Like,
Right.
the CS:GO fan base is one of the most devout like fan bases to exist. I don't see anyone leaving that.
It's the variety of the character in Valorant that's probably attracting the Overwatch players.
Yeah.
That sort of.
I think so too because it has enough of Overwatch, but it's different and it's bringing players into a little bit more of a hardcore stance. Like Overwatch's problem is they've been trying to pander to freaking casual players for so long, dude. In my opinion, if Overwatch was gonna make a comeback, they would need to completely pander to the competitive audience.
This is what me and Pepper are going to talk about. This is what I've been wanting to bring up and we can relate another game to this, but they've actually been one of the biggest esports too. Rainbow Six is the idea of bringing new characters to the game that serve no purpose.
I think it's one of the worst things that Overwatch has done.
Right, but this is what I was thinking. So I was talking with Ped and Megan about this because Ped's a very passionate Overwatch player, and I was thinking, so what if we did this? To make the game last, they want to keep adding new characters and adding new variables to the game to make it seem new and fresh. Fine, cool, whatever. Screw it. But in the competitive version, when you want to play a ranked game, I think they should have the authentic first set of heroes you played with at the start, at the peak of competitive Overwatch, and just completely delete any of the other heroes that they added.
And I like that, dude. And so I've talked about this a little bit too. I think I talked about it with you, Hunter, before. So, dude, I think that adding heroes to Overwatch only throws off the balance so much. If they would have stuck with the original heroes, because you don't have any of these like mixed match like crazy ability heroes. Like Overwatch's original heroes, if you look back, pretty simple. You had a soldier guy who shot grenades and can sprint. You have a sniper dude. You have a bow guy. You have a shield guy. One shield guy. They decided to add a bunch more.
Add fucking millions of them.
So the problem is when you add the overlap, you either need one of two things. You either need something like League of Legends where it has a million, so much overlap that it doesn't matter at that point, so it doesn't, or you need no overlap like TF2, Team Fortress 2. They kept their freaking original base of heroes and it worked, dude. Like,
Right.
I was literally saying,
It's fun. This makes me wonder, why do you even, like, what's the thing going through your head, right?
yeah.
You're the game developer. What's the main thing going through your head when you add a new character?
They want to build hype.
Yeah.
And then
What does the game
nothing
really
changes.
No.
Nothing ever changes.
Because it doesn't serve any purpose, dude.
Exactly. It's just
And it's to
keep
build
people
hype,
interested.
but guess what? It's doing the exact opposite at this point. And I think people,
right.
and I
That's still
still,
a point.
dude, and I get hyped over new characters. I won't lie. Like when I see a new character, I'm like, hell yeah, I can't wait to play
It's
that.
interesting. People
It's
want to
interesting.
still learn about it and see what's going to happen.
So here's what brings me into Overwatch 2, right? So with this going into Overwatch 2, this is where I could see this working out. I don't think Blizzard's going to do this, but I think that if they did this, it'd be pretty cool. And I think a lot of people would be really against it at the beginning. Bring Overwatch competitive back to its original state with the characters that they have. Take all of the new characters or any additional characters, let them play in
quick play or arcade.
or in the story mode,
In
dude.
the story mode, yeah.
They have a story mode now. That's what they're adding. That's basically what Overwatch 2 is updated looks in a story mode and one new PvP mode. It's really not even a sequel. It's just like an add-on, basically.
So that's my big question: is this really going to be a separate game, or are these the updated graphics, the new game mode, the new?
It's still running the same engine too. It's
Is
not
that gonna be on the original Overwatch? Is that gonna have all that still, or is this strictly Overwatch 2?
So there's a lot of. So this is where I think that they're fucking up even more because, dude, I am someone that devoutly follows and I don't know exactly what's going to be in each mode. Because I know for a fact that you can play Overwatch 2 with Overwatch 1 people if you're playing multiplayer, right? Like PvP. I know you can't play PvE with
Like the story.
with the original Overwatch. You can't play story missions.
Okay.
But you can play PvP with them still.
So you can play.
Now,
the
I
new
don't
game.
know if the graphics get updated also in Overwatch 1. Dude, it's an add-on.
It's weird.
They're only marketing it as Overwatch 2 because of a bunch of stuff that's happening over in Activision Blizzard where they want them to release, they wanted Blizzard to release more games. So they basically are like, okay, let's just call it Overwatch 2. It's basically an add-on.
This reminds me of what Chandler was saying when we were watching that fucking trailer. You always get weird vibes when you see that logo with the sequel number.
Yeah,
Right.
It's just
and that's the It's like it's so like they had an amazing trailer. It's an amazing. It feels like a Disney short.
Yeah.
You know, it's got. They say everything right.
Disney short.
they're the Disney of games.
It feels just like a Disney short.
You're watching
It's
it.
amazing. It's awesome. It's great animation. It gets you hyped. It gets you really excited.
Mm-hmm.
But then I've seen it too many times. Too many times.
Yeah.
The Overwatch logo and a 2 right next to it. That's when I was like, okay, but what's really gonna come up?
Yeah.
Like, what is this
Because it's
really?
not like, dude, it's not a new game. It's the same game with some updates.
This is what I was expecting. This is what originally when they made the game, they wanted to make it an RPG.
Yeah.
So what I was expecting out of this was like an open world online RPG similar to like World of Warcraft.
Yeah, and please don't call it Overwatch 2. They could have called it like something Overwatch, like something
You could have
else.
given it some like title that explains the story, not Overwatch 2.
Yeah, it's really not the second.
It's just fucking.
Because like after the story happens, it doesn't make it a second Overwatch. If you were revamping the entire multiplayer, that would be Overwatch. Because Overwatch is multiplayer, dude. That's
like,
we're in a world where these things are.
When's Minecraft 2 coming out? Like,
when's Minecraft 2? Yeah.
Now my question is.
Yeah, I feel like if you called Minecraft Story Mode though Minecraft 2.
Right, exactly. But they gave it a different name, so it doesn't branch on the same thing.
So it's a branch off. It's a branch
that's
off. What Overwatch 2 should have been.
It's a spin-off, and that's what Overwatch 2 should be considered. But unfortunately, it's made by Blizzard, and they're dropping the ball right now.
Yeah, dude.
Nah, so all these pros they were leaving like Overwatch even before fucking Valorant and stuff. They were leaving Overwatch because they implemented a bunch of like players that cater to the casual players.
Yeah. So there's been there's Overwatch has had a problem a long time with leaving players. Now is just like a mass exodus. Like before it wasn't like red flag, it's like, okay, this happens, people switch games, like there was ways to look over it. Now it's like, dude, like they're losing the star players in the scene. Like it's like now it's like
star players.
Yeah.
Dude, like literally two of the
Sinatra. And I'm not even I watched maybe the first year of Overwatch Pro League.
Yeah.
But I know who the big names are just because that was such a set in stone.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we have to offer.
Yep. So thank you to our wonderful sponsors for sponsoring this video.
Rolling Rock.
Let's get right back into it.
Not actually sponsored by Rolling Rock.
Disclaimer: we're not sponsored by Rolling Rock.
We lost Barry once again.
Yeah, I believe I was saying something about the inaugural season of Overwatch League and how that was its defining moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so important for a game that newly introduces an esport.
Yeah. Dude, it was the inaugural season of Overwatch was one of the most fun viewing experiences I've ever had for a game.
Yeah.
Me and Hunter used to watch that
We used to get so pumped about Boston. I can remember when we watched Boston beat New York and London for the first time. It was so hot.
Shout out Boston.
I can remember you.
Not anymore.
Me and you both standing up in your room watching London, and at that final moment when I think it was your prophet missed the post bomb right at the end for us to win. You started punching the ceiling. You were so excited.
Dude, because it was hype though.
It was so hype. It was amazing.
The thing about the inaugural season is they had the heroes that they were playing were more exciting. So like Tracer was a huge part of the meta, dude. Like dive was big. So, like fast heroes, dude, quick kill times, like so it brings it back to like now Overwatch is a lot slower paced and it's kind of losing that core like FPS audience. And I don't know if they can last in the esport with this, dude. Now, like, it dipped in season 2. I didn't even watch all of season 2. Like, I watched a lot of it. But like, I was a huge fan, dude. I was like, I watched every game, bro. Season 1. Like, I was
hanging out with Corey a lot around that time. I'd be at his house every night, and he'd be watching it. But around the season 2 time, we'd almost never be watching it.
Yeah, dude, it was season 2 just it dipped, and then season 3 is like it's such a small fan base now. Like it's down to such a small thing. The only thing saving it this year were the homestands playing in all these different cities, and now that that's canceled, it's like everything is fallen. The dominoes have fallen, dude.
It's the worst possible situation.
Yeah, it's the worst possible situation for them, dude. The game is in the worst. I mean, it's funny because playing the game right now, it's like in a decent state in some aspects. Like waiting for queue times is the most fun it's ever been because you can play games though in between, which is cool. Like that's something that they added that I actually really like. Custom games in Overwatch have been awesome, dude. Like that's an amazing thing that they added, but it hasn't been enough because like the amount of things that take away from that are just so overwhelming at this point. And like the community has been wanting balance. They've tried all these things, dude, and like back to my analogy from earlier, bro. It's like it's little Band-Aid patches.
No.
Like it's just not working, dude. And it's sad to see it happen for sure. But like, I don't think Overwatch 2 is gonna bring it back. Like, Overwatch 2 is something I'll play because I'm a hardcore fan. Like, I'll play that game because I'll play the story mode. I like the story of Overwatch. Like, I know I'll play that, but is that going to pull people in that, you know, are into the competitive scene? No. Like, is that going to pull people in that don't play Overwatch anymore? Probably not. Like, I don't see any of that.
It's very niche.
I can personally say I love Overwatch. I think Overwatch is a fantastic game. I'm a fan of Overwatch League. Watching the Overwatch 2 gameplay trailer sort of disappointed me.
Yeah.
And I thought at first maybe I will buy this game, maybe I'll try it out, but I'm very skeptical at the moment. Like,
well, because,
I don't know.
dude, there's just not, like, they're not going after the audience that has already fallen in love with Overwatch. They're trying to bring new people in, and like, as much as like I love games like, dude, I love Left 4 Dead and stuff, like 4-player co-op. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. But that's not what Overwatch was, and like that could be a side thing. That'd be cool to do on the side. But that's not going to bring the competitive scene back, which is what Overwatch's big draw was. Like, dude, the Overwatch League was such a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Go ahead, Chandler. I can see you want to say something.
Yeah, the cogs are turning.
Yeah.
That just made me think about like the actual trailer,
Mm-hmm.
like they showed at E3,
Yeah.
and what a great reaction that got from it, and how much we were talking about, and how much people have been talking about. They should make a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they don't need an Overwatch 2. They just need a movie that will generate more hype. I'm serious.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not even joking.
No, it's
Dude,
true.
they have that type of power
It's
with
true.
the cinema.
I completely agree. I think that an Overwatch movie would be good. So like, I
know
know
it didn't work for World of Warcraft.
but they also try to make a live action. Okay, let's be real. Like, they should be making.
It also didn't work for Halo or Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. So
But who asked for that?
yeah, dude. But like,
Everybody's asking for a fucking Overwatch movie.
yeah, dude. If you do it in the same engine that they render like their cinematics,
It'd be
in, like,
amazing.
dude.
Awesome.
It'd be awesome. But I think
It
that
reaches
brings
all ages too.
That brings to another kind of side of things, though. Like, I'm not. So even with the death of Overwatch, I don't think that's necessarily the death of the Overwatch brand. I think that's the death of the Overwatch competitive scene.
Yeah.
I think that's what's in jeopardy here. Like, I don't think the Overwatch brand's gonna die, dude. I think the Overwatch brand is really strong, actually, because I think the heroes are really likable, dude. Like, Blizzard knows how to make stories, dude. Like, that will live on. And people will still watch the cinematic trailers and stuff because they're awesome, dude. They're really good. They're really well done. But like, that will still pull in money for Activision Blizzard, but it won't save the competitive game for the people that love the competitive side of things.
I see that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because like in the end, the same issues still exist with Overwatch competitive, dude. Like, it's not as much fun as it used to be.
Well, what is it they do now? They ban.
So now they ban
whole season. Is that what it is?
So it's like hero bans. They don't call it hero bans. They call it hero pools, and they actually just remove this from every rank except for the very top rank and the pro scene because there's so much backlash against it. But even in the pro scene, dude, I still don't like the way it's been handled. If you're gonna do a ban system, like, make it so it's by choice instead of just by like random or like by choosing by the most played heroes. Because what happens, dude, is basically the most
shit.
Yeah, dude, the most played heroes are either right. So this works for broken heroes. That's a great idea for broken heroes. Mei was broken, dude. She needed to be banned, right? They could have banned her though and chose that, and then kind of went down that. But instead, they just banned whoever the top played heroes are. You know who isn't broken? McCree isn't broken. And Widow isn't broken. But guess what? They've been banned 2 weeks in the Overwatch League so far.
Funny, Siege implemented in their ranked hero bans.
Is it by choice though?
It's by choice.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Most of the people that get banned are the most played operators.
Well,
Yeah.
Here's the thing with the siege choice option though, because it reminds me of League of Legends with the hero pick ban, because you can pick and ban heroes in League of Legends, I'm pretty sure, before a round. And it's usually the most OP and most used operators. Which is not, it's not rare to see that. But the thing is, Overwatch's algorithm, their own game, is choosing that for the players. And they're choosing the wrong heroes. It's not the players choosing the heroes. It's the game itself.
Nah, when people are given a choice, that kind of adds like a layer of skill gap.
Tactic, dude. Like, it's tactics,
exactly. Nah, because you're thinking, we're on this map. This operator is very essential, and I know these guys, like the pros, like, fucking that guy's really good with this guy. So it's like, nah, we're gonna ban this guy, so he can't use them. So we can do this and get into the site.
It's their sorry excuse of saying, here's how we balance the game. And it doesn't work.
Can you imagine if they had, so like, let's bring this over to Halo real quick, right? So Halo doesn't have heroes. So what really are the heroes? The guns, right? I think they're the same type of equivalents, right? Like heroes are to Overwatch as guns are to Halo, basically. Can you imagine if they did like a weekly ban system of the most used guns, dude?
Yeah, ban the sniper on this map.
Dude, it'd be banned all those guns would be banned all the time. Like it wouldn't make the gameplay more fun to watch. It probably wouldn't make it more fun to play. Like just because those guns are good, I think Halo has a good balance in the competitive scene where with the power weapons, right? Like you have to like work to get those things, but like of course you can't do that with heroes. Like unless you implement some weird systems in there. So Overwatch would either have to change fundamentally, like as a game, like serious changes, like to the point where like it's more like a MOBA that has FPS elements, rather than like kind of being the mishmash that it is right now. Like,
do the devs not know for themselves which one are overpowered? They're just like, the people pick these guys, so it must be overpowered, right?
So
that's not how it works.
Yeah, so people know, the devs know, I think everyone knows who's overpowered. The problem is they nerf it, it doesn't do anything. You nerf it, because a lot of the heroes are fundamentally broken, and it doesn't come to light until like other heroes get nerfs or something like that. So they're in like a cycle, bro, that's like,
they've just added too many people that they can't.
It's too much.
You
can't balance all those characters. Like
they went too fast with it.
That's the same problem with Siege at the moment too.
It's just too much, dude. Every time you add a character in, it adds that whole other layer. So
like those games that try to define themselves strategically by the way a character plays and by the way their ability works. That it's a great premise. The problem is trying to freshen it up by adding more abilities, because you just end up recycling abilities.
And the issue I see with it, dude, is like games like CS:GO. They don't need to add crazy things because the game is fundamentally The game is fundamentally competitive. What makes it exciting is the things that the players do within that space. Overwatch could be the same thing. Season 1 was the same thing. The new heroes being added didn't make it exciting. If you were to strip it down to basic Overwatch, what would make that game exciting is the strategies and the different types of plays that people do. I don't think you need heroes to make new heroes to make it an exciting game. Like that might bring in casual audiences a little bit, dude, or something.
So is it like a selfish move, you think?
I don't know.
It's for casuals.
Casuals.
It brings up the same conversation, man.
Pandering to casual
when
audiences.
devs make a game, like here's the thing, with making a good game, you need to consider the esports and the casuals. You need to cater to both in such a good mixture. You know, like when you look at games like Fortnite, Rocket League, like they're popular because it has a perfect mixture between the two. You know, anyone can pick up Rocket League and like know the mechanics. They know the game easy, dude. It's soccer.
But do you think that? And this doesn't apply for Rocket League, because I think Rocket League's in its own little class of like the way that I think just the gameplay and stuff, like it's just different. Like Rocket League's different.
Skill gap.
It does.
But it's the skill gap that's so rewarding.
Yeah, but like they're not adding new crazy things to Rocket League all the time. Like
they don't need to.
No, exactly, because the players that make the crazy plays, dude, and stuff. And like it's your skill that's like.
But also at the same time, Rocket League, and it's funny because I thought it when I first started playing, and Tom, he just started playing.
Yeah.
But yesterday I'm playing with him, and he's like, I'm not even good at it, but I'm still having so much fun.
Yeah.
And that's how I've always felt. Like I am not very good at it.
And that was the
But
big.
it is still some of the most fun you can have playing with your friends on a video game.
I just want to say this is why I think
It's awesome.
Rocket League is such a successful game. Is because it doesn't rely on a certain meta. I mean there's metas in Rocket League of course, but it's the meta grows. It's like it's not based on an update. It's not based on a certain car being good. It's not based on.
It's based on yourself.
It's based on what sort of skill the certain player has.
Because
in
the players
style.
find new mechanics.
Yeah, exactly.
Like every other month.
In the
That's
early
insane.
seasons of Rocket League, what was sick? It was air dribbles. Not, and then like as it got like higher, as it what's the word I'm trying to think?
It's like an
evolved.
actual
As it
sport.
evolved, it started getting
Yeah,
more
it's like
advanced.
it's like a
and
sport,
ceiling
though.
shots.
It really is. Like
It's
I
all
think
players.
as an esport, Rocket League is
It's the
one
best.
of the most like an actual
No.
physical.
And that's why it's
Yeah.
gonna be in the Olympics.
And it's the easiest for people to pick up too. They
The
know
Rocket
exactly
League
what's
watch that,
going
you
on.
understand, yeah.
They know
Rocket-
exactly what's going on. Anyone.
Rocket League
Your
is
mom
accepted
knows exactly
into
what's
the
going on
Olympics.
from the start.
Dude.
Overwatch, they don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, because
They
it's
don't know
crazy,
the
bro.
characters.
There's so much, and that's like, so then like, so the parallel I draw to that is like, so you have something like Rocket League, right? It's been pretty successful doing that sort of thing, and then you bring it over to CS:GO, right? Which is like, CS:GO is still relatively easy to watch, but like you won't understand the tactics really.
Yeah.
And CS:GO does not pander to a casual audience. I would argue at all. Like CS:GO is the hardest game to this day, dude. It's the hardest game I've ever picked up.
Yeah.
And like, would you prefer? I mean, I know you guys like Hunter is a big Overwatch player. I know you two aren't huge Overwatch players, but like, do you think that it would be the right move for Overwatch to move into like more pandering to just competitive audiences and take that route of like a CS:GO type thing, or do you think that they should do like kind of the opposite?
Here's where I think their problem with that is. But then again, nowadays I don't even know if it is that much more of a problem. For me, the stigma of it being it's an E. Like I'm bringing rating into this now.
Yeah,
E for everyone.
yeah.
How many people from all ages play that?
Overwatch. I mean, I think there's definitely like a lot of younger people that play it as well as some older people.
Do you think it's equally between all of them?
Like younger and older generations? I think that towards the beginning, yeah. I think that now, I wouldn't say that I think more kids, I actually think it's rated T, though.
Oh, is it really?
I think it's rated T, but either way, I don't think like, I understand, like Overwatch is like, it's more cartoony and stuff, but at the same time, that's worked for games, dude. Like that's League of Legends, bro.
And
Is the
It's
most
a hard
cartoony.
question, man.
We
Yeah.
keep bringing up
Hard question.
It's tough.
CS:GO, but I think the difference I want to bring up about CS:GO and Overwatch that's pretty evident and why it's so popular is CS:GO is actually it's a very historic game. It's been around
Yeah.
for how long now? When was the original CS:GO game that was ever created? The original Counter-Strike.
90s at least.
Like it was one of the original competitive
Yeah.
games that was ever even existing. So it's already had such a long following leading up. So
Mhm.
that's probably why it's built up
So
such
that's-
a large crowd.
So how do you, I mean, the question, how do you even build like a fan base like that? Like,
I think Overwatch has already advanced too quickly for that.
I think they're trying to move too fast, dude. Like, TF2 had a decent following.
CS:GO was moving slowly. Like they were nice and steady as they moved on. They weren't implementing things that were completely game breaking, completely like changing, but they were implementing things that kept the game fresh and people interested.
Mhm.
Nah, back to your question though, I mean, it's the same thing with Halo. Like, how is Halo gonna go back to its roots? How are people gonna start playing it again? I think they should cater to the esports. They should make it
I think
more
so, too.
balanced. They shouldn't be catering to the casuals. They shouldn't be adding stupid characters that make it easy for new people to pick it up.
Mhm.
Like, Overwatch's fan base, if you look at it from the beginning, they catered to the esports. They made it balanced, you know?
And it was-
I think that's what they need to
Yeah.
do to get it back and running again.
I completely
But
agree.
it's a hard question though, because like that's kind of with the industry how it is nowadays. They cater to the casuals because that's kind of how.
You make money, dude. all
Yeah,
the time.
no, look at COD, man. Always cater to the casuals. Look at how COD's been doing. They're at the top, man, because they
Mhm.
cater to the casuals.
I
But
mean, Fortnite, dude. Perfect example of that.
See, no, same thing, dude.
Mhm.
That's the thing. Overwatch, it doesn't have that mixture
I
of
think-
catering to the casuals and esports. It's just it's
that's the
not
thing,
built. that way.
COD Pro League, dude, like, is not. So it's amazing to see, right? COD's been one of the top games for how many years now? For every year.
Forever.
Like,
My
yeah.
entire life.
Forever.
So
Dude, so COD's been one of the top games of like all time, right? The pro scene's not that big, but that's not what COD's about, really. COD's a money making machine, dude, when it comes down to it, and it's just fun, casual. I mean, you get in, dude, you just play, bro. Like, and
It's easy.
I think it's an identity crisis because there's definitely a stark contrast between what makes a game competitive and what makes a game like more of a casual game. And I think Overwatch is in a huge identity crisis where they want to be both, but they can't, and they need to decide: do we want? I mean, I want them to be a competitive game. Because I love the competitive version of Overwatch. I think that's the way the game works.
Yep.
Because it's incredibly complicated. Like Overwatch is hard to learn, like at a competitive level.
It's not structured where they can have both. It's not the type of game, you know. It's not Rocket League. It's not Fortnite.
Yeah, I agree, dude. It's because Fortnite, you can jump in, bro. You know exactly what's going on. Like,
Yeah.
takes 2 seconds. And then again, I don't think the Fortnite pro scene is gonna last. I don't think it's something that's gonna be around for years.
I haven't heard about that in that long.
Yeah.
Dude. You know, like the Fortnite, the people who rose with Fortnite, Ninja, all them, are they playing Fortnite right now?
No.
I don't see them playing Fortnite.
Fortnite is not really popping.
No.
I see them playing Valorant because they know what's up. You know.
But they move on because that's. But that
I
that's
think
a fat game.
well,
That's a
honestly,
game that's just
I
fat for a
think
while, and then-
overall, generally, battle royales just aren't really popping right now. I mean, Warzone is an exception, but like,
Well, because
that's
Battle
just
Royale-
like very like.
Battle royales are like it's a hard game to turn into an esport because the viewer experience is extremely tough. Like it's a fun game to stream. It's super easy to watch. Watching a stream is super fun with battle royales, and I think that's why it's done extremely well on Twitch. You can watch an esport if you understand like all like the the little things in each game. Like I watch a lot of Apex. Like I watch a lot of Apex's streams. I find them interesting, but I know that Apex isn't going to be the next huge esport. You know what I mean? Like it's not. Like Apex is a lot of fun to watch still, and like it's fun to jump in and just play. Like it's I think it's a great streaming game. I don't think Battle Royale is a formula that's built for esports. I think it's a horrible esport formula. Can you imagine, dude? Like trying to do LAN tournaments.
It'd be terrible.
They can't even make a decision. Do you base it on kills? Do you base it on who's the last? Like,
It's
surviving?
that's what I'm saying.
It's
Yeah.
too.
There's no competitive aspect to it that really makes sense, and it's all like drop luck. Like, you never know where the circle's gonna go. You never know which drop is gonna be the best drop. Like you never know what type of loot you're gonna get where. It's all a lottery.
With
on who
esports,
wins.
you need balance, and battle royales, it's not.
And that's
it's
why
not
Balance
balanced enough.
that.
That's dude. I mean, any game,
And
any competitive esports done well, you know exactly what you're getting into.
As
Like
someone who has avidly enjoyed competitive gaming, I can confidently say I've never really enjoyed playing a battle royale in my life.
I like battle royales, dude. I have to say, like,
I know it's true. I absolutely fucking despise battle royales, and I can say that comfortably. I liked Apex at the start, got fucking bored of it after a month. Call of Duty's fun. I like Blackout, I like Warzone, but after like a couple games, it gets really boring. Like I can't stand it. It's mindless to me. I have no interest in battle royales whatsoever.
I mean, hey, each is his own. Like, dude, I mean, that's the same. Like, I tried to get into MOBAs. Fuck that, dude. Like, I know a lot of people like League of Legends, bro, but like, goddamn, I cannot stand watching that.
Goddamn Asians, man.
Oh my god.
Now,
MOBAs are like Smite, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Dota 2.
Yeah, I can't do shit like that.
Yeah. Like,
No.
it's just
I don't
like,
even know what that is, bro. Like,
Dude, I watched it and I'm like everyone's like getting all excited about plays. I'm like,
you just don't understand what's going
okay,
on.
but like, dude, but to each like, if you like MOBAs, that's fine, dude. Like that's your shit. I love Battle Royale, dude. Like in some aspects, I hate Fortnite. I think it's garbage. I don't like a lot of Battle Royales, but I do love Apex. Like I think Battle Royale still have a place in my heart. Like I like certain parts of them.
PUBG's still the best.
Yeah, Channel was called PUBG over here. He's the only one in the world.
only
that's
battle
Yo,
royale.
we're sorry about that.
Minecraft Hunger Games are OG. Those were the best
Minecraft-
battle royales.
Minecraft Hunger
Yeah,
Games,
those
dude.
are the best ones ever.
Fucking Roblox. Shout out to Roblox.
Yeah, Roblox is also one of the best games ever lived. Shout out Roblox.
Yeah. No, but I mean, dude, those are honestly, bro. It's a fad. Like as much as I love Apex, but it's a fad. But I mean, to bring us back to it, dude.
Nah,
Yeah,
it's the best battle royale, bro. Apex is the best battle royale.
Okay, true, but
it was a fad. It is, but
no, it's.
Those are
I mean, the
good.
mode itself, dude. But either way, without that or whatever, like those games are tough to make an esport. But like Overwatch is built off the foundation where it could be an esport. Halo is built off the foundation where it is an esport. Halo has been an esport for a long time. The fans have definitely dwindled over the years. Like it was a lot bigger than it is now. But I think they have a chance to kind of come back here. And so, like, Maddie, I know you play a lot of competitive Halo, dude.
Yeah,
like,
that's my shit.
do you think that the community will be able to like rally around Halo as a competitive game, or like have we not seen enough of it yet, or like kind of where are you thinking on that, dude?
I mean, it all depends on the gameplay itself, man. Like if they can get the gameplay right, then hell yes, dude, that esport is going to be huge, man. Like if they can make a kind of Halo 3 type game and they can make it successful, fuck yeah, that esport is gonna be huge. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Dude, have you seen like what Halo 3 esports, Halo 2 esports like kind of was back in the day? That shit was
It's nuts, dude. They were one of the
Dude.
pioneers, bro, for FPS esports. Like,
Bro, it was different, man. Like if you look at esports, like Overwatch esports, any of that stuff, Rocket League, man, you don't see people standing up and shouting at the enemy team as they kill them. Like, no, that doesn't happen. Halo, have you guys seen Halo esports, bro?
Actually,
have you seen that shit?
It's funny to bring
Oh
it
my
up.
god, they
Just-
scream at each other while they're playing, bro. It's ridiculous. There's nothing like Halo esports, man.
The crap that I
Nothing.
see on Twitter.
Yeah, straight up to their face, bro, as they're playing. It's
When
like, what?
When I'm watching Rocket League
No.
esports and the shit I see on Twitter when people are complaining about other people heckling like enemy teams, like I just think
It's such a big thing to them.
that's competition. We
Okay,
want that. I
Halo
think there
is the
should
norm.
be that. That's healthy competition.
But
Is the
that-
heckling.
Have you ever
That's healthy
seen
competition.
Super Smash Bros. Tournaments?
oh, dude.
The fighting community.
Yeah.
The fucking fighting community.
Okay, listen.
Oh my god.
Quick segue here. I think seriously, like, dude, Super Smash Bros. Is the most underrated esport of all time, bro.
Dude, one of the craziest, honestly.
Dude,
It's so good.
If you have not treated yourself to Super Smash Bros., even the newest game, dude, if you haven't treated yourself to go and watch some of those tournaments, they are some of the most intense things ever.
There's some weird ass motherfuckers.
Dude, yes.
Those motherfuckers look
They
weird as
go
shit. They probably
hard.
fucking reek while they're playing.
Those are
but
some of
they're
the
dirty.
craziest
They are
games in the world.
filthy, man. I don't know how they do that.
Dude, they're dirty.
They're insane.
And the crowd goes nuts, and it's like a relatively small scene somehow still, but it's like thriving in its own right, dude. In like,
You
it's
can
so,
visibly
it's so like
you can
unique
They're
and
doing it right,
genuine.
yeah.
You can visibly
It's genuine.
see the anger
Fucking
every-
in the opponents too.
No, you can.
Like you can just like tell they fucking hate each other when they're playing each other.
yeah.
Like they're like there's no
Dude, they're
respect.
sweating hard when they play that game. Like,
They're
oh,
What
the
my
makes it
God.
so good is it's
Oh.
any new person seeing that knows exactly what the hell's going on, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly,
That's what
dude,
makes it so good.
yeah, I think you can draw parallels, right? So like real sports, dude. I think that Super Smash Bros. The fighting games community obviously can draw a lot of comparisons to like UFC or something like that. Like it's like a special event, dude. Like there's that same type of energy between the two players. Like it's like this big like, yeah, dude.
I can
It's
remember,
like
I can remember when we watched that Crowcat video, the fighting video, and the guy's like shotgunning 3 Red Bulls before he goes into a match.
Shotgunning? Like,
He's just like, not shotgunning, but like chugging them. Like just literally chugging 3 Red Bulls
Yeah.
before he goes into a match. And he's like hyped up, ready to go.
it's just crazy, dude. It's crazy, but I mean that's how kind of like UFC is crazy too. People talk shit, bro. Like people like say things that they probably
mental
shouldn't.
game, bro.
Dude, it is, but
One-on-one
like,
shit.
because it's the one-on-one, bro. So that I think that definitely is a
That should
aside
be
from
implemented
sports.
into our esports, man. We should
Yeah.
allow
It's
that shit.
healthy
But
competition.
2020, we gotta be
Fuel.
safe to everybody. You can't be talking shit. Nah, bring it back, baby.
Yeah, dude.
Like
Bring it
what has
back.
made sports so successful? What about soccer? Like when you think of the fans in soccer,
You
what-
ever seen the NFL?
Yeah.
the craziest thing is
motherfucker.
chanting at each other, like literally
No.
telling each other that you fucking fucking suck. We're better than you.
They killed
Like,
Guys, if you've ever actually played a sport competitively, then you know that that's already a part of the game.
Yeah.
Even if you're not the type to talk shit all the time, which I wasn't, but you know,
when you're in the
there's a
competitive
fucking
nature,
time and a place, dude. So
No, dude, I think it's in each esport has a spot, right? Like, dude, so like you gotta. I think we have to define like the categories, dude, and like who has a spot and who doesn't. Like we're in a pivotal time in esports in general, and I think all these companies are fighting for who's gonna be the lasting ones. Like, dude, like there are already people that have secured their places. Like CS:GO's there, man. Like League of Legends is there. I don't watch it, but I know it's there, dude. Like League of Legends will be around. Like. Who's gonna be next, dude? I think that's the question. Like, can these? The reason I like to bring up Overwatch and Halo, like these two games are games that are kind of depending on their next releases in order to bring them into that. Because like Halo's been around for a long time, dude. But if it wants to like secure itself, it needs a strong release, dude.
Right.
Like, because it's been there. But like they can't continue to, kind of fuck up like they were in the past. And retain that audience. Like, do you think that I almost think that'd be better, dude, for Halo just to release with Halo 6 Infinite, which I think is probably saying that they're probably gonna keep this one around for a long time. But I hope that they release Halo Infinite and that they just build off Halo Infinite for a long time instead of continuing sequels, because if that can become like the esport, because you don't want esports to be changing games all the time, but like if Halo can come, dude, and cement itself as like a big esport, like that'd be awesome. But like I don't know if Overwatch.
we're back. We lost Barry again. The cat got back to the camera, but
Fuck that cat.
I was gonna say you made a point that said what's gonna be the next esport, and we segued into Halo. But I think of two games that are already out and existing as very popular esports,
Better
very
say
huge
Rocket,
esports, and one of them is flourishing and I think will live on, and one of them I think has the potential to live on, but they need to figure out what they're gonna do to make that happen. And I think Rocket League and I think Rainbow Six. Rocket League definitely has the potential to be a long-lasting esport just because of its core like style. It bases itself on physics. It bases itself on the ability of different styles of play and different players coming into the game and making itself work. Rainbow Six is sort of in the same boat as Overwatch, where it bases itself on a character and its ability, but it's still a very popular esport.
I see, and with Rainbow, so my only problem with Rainbow, dude, coming into the, I personally, I don't think Rainbow is going to be a staple, but
I agree.
And this is for one reason. I think the Rainbow Six viewer experience is not good enough, and I don't think that there's much that they can do to make it that good. Tight spaces like that make it extremely tough to watch, dude. And like, this is coming from someone like, so my perspective is from someone that doesn't play a lot of Rainbow, but like I've tried to watch the esports, dude.
It's not easy.
And it's
hard to understand.
Love playing the game, but it's not easy watching the esport.
No, it's not, and it's tough, dude. And that's my counter to like Rainbow being, because like I don't know, dude. I don't know if you can make that easier to watch in any way, dude. That the tight spaces, bro.
Too hard, just like Overwatch.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So another thing that comes with longevity is being able to have new players come into the game and be able to ease into it
Yeah.
at a steady pace, or just be able to snap to it like that. And I think one of the problems, which we can see with Overwatch, but both Rainbow Six, with all the adding of new characters and all this, and then I think one of Rainbow Six's biggest problems is a lot of that is DLC that you have to buy. But then, like, you have all these new characters, and you don't even know what everybody does.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, the game change, the map remakes, the game changes so much.
Dude, you can go back
It can
and
make
watch.
it very hard for a new player to get into that. But when you come into Rocket League, just like we were saying
Anybody
before,
can jump into it.
playing with Tom the other day, his first time I was playing it,
game's been out
having
for
fun,
how long?
not even like knowing the basics of it.
Dude, and I feel it with Rocket League because like I'm not a hardcore Rocket League player, but I can still jump into that game and have some fun with it, dude. Like I can watch an esports Rocket League game and understand what's happening. Like, dude, with and it's the same thing. I know I keep harping on CS:GO, but I think it's a really good example because it's a staple, dude. It already is. It's one of the biggest in the world. And with CS:GO, dude, they've been playing on the same competitive maps for so long, bro. So long, dude. It doesn't get like Overwatch, bro. They're releasing all these new maps, and like you're playing on all these new maps, dude. You're not like that's not making it easy for people to learn. Like with CS:GO, dude, if I were to jump into the game in CS:GO 6 months ago, jump into it again now, the game's relatively the same as when I left. So I could still come back to it and have an idea what's going on, dude. If you jump out of Overwatch, good fucking luck getting back into it. Like you're not going to, dude. You're gonna have to grind for days and days and days in order to be able to even be like competent in the game, bro. It's just like. It's ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous for people trying to either get back into it. New players, there's just too much now. It's way too much. And you need to like, dude, honestly, less is better.
Yeah, I agree.
Less is better.
Keep the game as simple as you can. Simplicity is best.
Mm-hmm. It makes it easier. It makes it a better watching experience. You know what
It's
you're
about
getting
finding a
into.
medium.
Dude, you watch Smash Bros. Dude, you're literally two guys fighting on a platform. They're not bringing in all those crazy. So like they have a casual. What's good about Smash Bros is they've been able to bring casual audience for all these crazy maps. But dude, they're not brought into the competitive scene. You don't have people playing on what is it, the Hyrule Castle, dude, where it's a huge map. You don't have people in the competitive scene playing on Hyrule Castle. They
That's
play on
what I think
platforms.
is amazing about Nintendo games, though. A lot of them can be, a lot of them are mainly story mode, like when you think about Mario and like shit like that. But when it comes to the competitive scene for something like that, it's speedrunners. But also, like, any casual player will enjoy a game like that.
Yeah.
Well, I could be.
Yeah, I think Nintendo games tend to be very well balanced when they're trying to hit their audience.
It's too bad.
It's
too bad they don't support them.
I was gonna say this is funny because I could have been wrong, but yeah, no, you just backed that up. Yeah. Nintendo doesn't even back up their own esports.
Yeah, dude, they don't support them at all, which is a shame, dude. Because I think Smash Bros could be one of the biggest esports in the world. Like, I think, dude, out of every,
I never knew that they didn't back them up, and I wondered.
And that's so authentic and great. Like how
there's there's like basically no support from Nintendo for the esports.
They don't care.
It's crazy, dude. And they wanted to cut. So Melee was a huge esport for a while. And they wanted to just cut support for that, dude, completely. They wanted to stop people from like doing that because Nintendo's weird, dude. They don't make a lot of sense with like a lot of their decisions. Their games are great, bro. Like they make great games, but they don't support them, dude.
Extremely competitive games.
Like in what you were saying with Rocket League and in Rainbow Six becoming like the next. I think, dude, if Nintendo were to back Smash Bros, I seriously think that would be the next staple in
everybody.
It's already a staple, dude. It's not huge.
It's just they don't back it. They don't give it the
nostalgic about Nintendo games.
Yeah,
because they've been around forever.
What? They're the original.
They always just
they're the
feel
OG.
like simpler times. Like when I play Mario, when I play Zelda, I play Mario Kart, something like that. It just all feels like being a kid again. There's something about Nintendo.
I will never forget playing Zelda Wind Waker. Yeah. My favorite Nintendo game of all time, Zelda Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, dude. Smash Bros has all the characters from those games. They bring it all together. It's highly competitive. Super easy to pick up. Also, there's a bunch of competitive or casual shit you can do in it. The game is really well done, and I think that they're gonna.
Dude, like I was saying before, man, like what makes a good esport is easy to watch, and it's also got a huge fucking skill gap, man. Mm-hmm. You look at Smash Bros, dude, you know exactly what's going on from the beginning, but the mechanics you need to learn and master in that game.
I can't even play online, bro.
I don't even understand, man. Like I've been playing Smash Bros since I was in the womb and stuff, but like. Dude, watching them play.
Some of these kids are playing with like 7 fingers, dude.
No, man,
7 fingers each hand.
The mechanics you need to learn in that game to master that game is ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous.
Nah.
Nah.
Dude, so I mean, to bring back to the original topic too, like, so overall, do you guys, so kind of to finish it out, dude, do you guys think that the sequels will be able to usher in kind of like a new era for both Overwatch and Halo?
I'm hoping so for Halo. Yeah, and I'm also hoping so for Overwatch, but I'm more so hoping for Halo.
I think
Yeah.
Halo has a better chance of reviving themselves and making a better case than Overwatch does. From the evidence I've seen, from the trailers, from the information I've gotten, Halo looks, Halo feels, and Halo seems like it's in a better position
100%.
to be a game that will bring back its audience and be a game that is gonna hopefully live up to its potential. Overwatch, on the other hand, in my opinion, just looks like some add-on they could have made an update for the original game.
What do you think, Manny?
Nah, like I said before, man, like, I think what they're gonna do with Halo is they're gonna go back to the roots. You know, they're gonna make like a Halo 3 style game with those same type of mechanics, no sprint, no clamber, all that crap. But I mean, it's 343. They're not Bungie, man. They haven't made a game like that yet. They've been making Halo 5 and Halo 4. But so I think what's gonna happen is I think they're gonna make that step in the right direction, making it like a Halo 3 style game. But they're not gonna get it right away, you know. I don't think it's gonna be just a drastic change like Halo's back, fucking at the top. Like no. Like I think it's gonna be close to the top when Halo Infinite comes out, but it's gonna take some time for 343 to, you know, finish that to make it polish it. You know?
I would agree, dude. I think Halo's on the right trajectory, despite some of the recent things like Elite people leaving and stuff. I think even if the campaign's bad, I think the competitive has a good chance to come back. Overwatch, on the other hand, dude. I think that they would need a major rehaul on almost everything, and I can't even. The situation's gotten too complicated to even boil it down to. I think that, and I in as much as I love the game, dude, and it breaks my heart to say it, but I think that they're kind of at a point where the developers aren't willing to take a risk like that, and I think because of that, the scene is going to die, the competitive scene at least for Overwatch, which is upsetting, but. It's where it's at. But I mean, then again, we'll see. We'll see when the games come out here. Hopefully they're both good. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Better not fuck it up 3-4 days. Nah, I'll actually be depressed for like a couple months.
But thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for dealing with our our battery going through the first time. I mean, this of course is our first episode. We promise production will get better as we go. You stick with us. But yeah, thank you everyone for checking it out.
Peace!
Oh, that's cheesy.